Hey guys, welcome to Fantasy Tip. Max with you for another episode. And this week we're taking a look at injury prone players and their ADP. Are they worth the risk or are they not worth the risk? Without wasting any time, let's jump right into it. Our first player is Andrei Svechnikov, who's only played 123 games in the past two seasons, missing out 23 games last year. In the 59 games, he's totaled 52 points, but he's never achieved a point per game pace so far in his young career. Only two of his first six NHL seasons has seen him play above 68 games. With all those signs, I think it's a very high risk, high reward pick here. One I'm definitely leaning towards around the 45th to 60th pick. Yes, Jake Wenzel is gone. They also have numerous players who departed from last season's opener like Michael Bunting, Teravainen, and Yevgeny Kuznetsov, which leaves the door right open for Svech to play and produce even more. I expect a point per game pace and loads of power play points for the Russian winger in the upcoming season. I'll even go to say that he breaks the 70 game barrier for the third time and finally becomes what we expect out of him. Double eligibility on the wings and above 2 hits a game gives him even more appeal. He's a go for me. Thatcher Demko, ADP 54. Sure, he finished second in the Vizina voting, but he did get injured on March 5th and missed 14 games before getting a season-ending injury against Nashville in the first round of the playoffs. In 2022-2023, he only played 32 games, winning only 14. His ADP of 54 is way too low for the risks that he carries. Not only am I not a fan of drafting goalies in the first 5 rounds, but drafting an injury-prone keeper is asking for it. I'm staying away right here. For the first time in 13 years, Chris Letang has played a full season in the NHL. 51 points plus 13 on a struggling Pens team is very good. The main issue to me is that Erik Karlsson is the PP1 option in Pittsburgh, and Letang only had 5 power play points last year. Knowing this and the fact that he's used to missing time due to concussions and injuries, that's enough to keep me away from Letang at the draft. I just think there are much safer options around the draft rounds that he's being picked at right now, like John Carlson, Michael Matheson, Alex Pietrangelo, and Seth Jones, but only if your league doesn't count plus minus. At the same time, it's worth noting Carlson is also injury prone, and if he was to go down with injuries, Letang would be a nice handcuff, but once again, not at his ADP. Couple of Avalanche here, I'm going to keep it brief. Landeskog is amazing. He's a horse, a phenomenal hockey player, a guy you want on your team to take you all the way, but he hasn't played in what, a decade? No, but seriously, he hasn't played since playoffs 2022. That's almost 3 years. And his ADP is 137. I just don't get it. Don't do it. As for Nichushkin, too many off-ice problems, and I don't want that negativity on my fantasy team. It's as simple as that. His ADP is at 165, and his suspension for not following protocol finishes in November, but it's not even a sure thing that he'll be ready joining Colorado. Last 2-round picks and IR stash? Sure. But other people will make the mistake of drafting him or them way earlier. Don't be that guy. Listen, last year I made multiple videos telling you guys Mark Stone was a trap and not to draft him. That no matter how good he was, he will go down with injuries. And once I did tell you guys that, I went ahead and drafted him in 2 separate leagues in the end rounds, feeling like a total hypocrite. Now, I will try to rectify that. Do not draft Mark Stone in the top 150. And I would say even 175. I will admit that as a late round pick, he is very serviceable. 53 points in 56 games, 2 shots and almost a block per game, with 14 of his points coming from the man advantage for 2/3 of the season. It's good for a right winger. Don't forget he's missed 110 of the 246 games in the last 3 seasons. Is he worth the risk at his ADP of 155? No, but that's a fine line. Is he worth the risk outside the top 175? I would say yes, absolutely. Patrick Laine, new air, new team, big power play presence. I think we can expect some good things out of him, especially around his ADP of 154. Do I see him play a full season? It's hard to predict at this point. But I do see him get closer to his 2021 to 2023 numbers and be close to a point per game pace. I think he eclipses the 50-point mark for the 7th time with ease. Laine is a great pick if you went right winger and defenseman heavy early on. Make sure not to overstack on left wingers if you want to make a play for Laine in the mid rounds. Speaking of left wingers, Evander Kane, who played injured all season long last year, recording 44 points in 77 games, not playing his best hockey. He did miss most of the Stanley Cup final, and it was now announced that he will get a sports hernia surgery, sidelining him for most of the season. I love Evander Kane. He's a Mr. Clutch staple, a peripheral monster, and I even have his Buffalo Sabres jersey. I love stashing injured players early on, but I will not be touching Evander Kane this season, and you shouldn't either. 3 shoulder surgeries before 25 years old for Josh Norris is so rough, especially when he has such a unique style of play. 6'2", 200-pound center with a lethal wrist shot, two-way player who isn't scared to get in the corners, as his 1.7 hits per game shows. Last season, 30 points in 50 games, with 12 coming from the power play. Quite surprised, honestly, to see that he doesn't even have an ADP number, because when he plays, he's a prolific player. 35 goals in 66 games in 2022. He should start as the Senators' second-line center, and he does play his point role to perfection on the power play. I'm definitely fishing for Josh Norris past the 160th, 170th pick, and who cares if he starts the year on IR? You can just stash him and stream someone else while you wait patiently. Now, you want to talk late draft steal that won't hurt you at all if it doesn't pan out? Taylor Hall. He was brought in to mentor Connor Bedard, and things didn't go as planned as he suffered an ACL tear and ended up playing 10 games only. Hall will be playing on a contract here with the most exciting teenager in the world. The lack of talent around Chicago almost assures us that he will get the PP1 time all year long with Connor Bedard, Seth Jones, and company. If he was to play above 70 games this year, I can easily see him get between 55 and 65 points. Yes, he's 32 and injury prone, but this guy was a Hart Trophy winner not too long ago. I recommend Hall as a late draft pick if your league doesn't count, plus minus once again. And finally, Max Pacioretty. Sure, he hasn't made the team yet, but who are we kidding? There's 95% chance that Patches starts the year in Toronto and bolsters the PP2. With injuries, he could very well end up in the top 6 with either Austin Matthews or John Tavares. William Nylander or Mitch Marner as a winger could be other option. That is an excellent spot if you're a big, slow, aging, goal-scoring winger like Max Pacioretty. He's not being drafted right now, obviously, because there's a lot of question marks around him, but I like him a lot. Deeper leagues or last-round Hail Mary for 12-man leagues. If he doesn't go in your draft, keep a close eye on the waiver wire when he is confirmed to make the team and see where he ends up playing in the lineup. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the content, click the like button, subscribe to our channel. It makes all the difference to us. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think, and I will catch you guys soon.